Hey, Louise here. I hope you are ready for quilting. We are picking up right where we left off, and we are putting these 9 patches together. We have all the charm squares that we cut from fat quarters. Now we're going to make our 9 patch, and then we're going to take it one step further. This is where the magic happens, and I can't wait to show you, because we're going to do some sewing, we're going to do some cutting, and look at what we're going to make. This is a beautiful quilt. I'm going to show you every step of the way. So let's go. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. This quilt has been on my mind since we left off yesterday. I know that just making 4 9 patches is not going to be nearly enough. So I started digging, and now I have these pieces. I think I showed you some of these. And these are the 8-inch piece above my layer cakes when I cut them, if you remember. And I have a bunch of pretty fabrics inside here. Plus I have a couple others underneath. Look at all these. They're going to go beautiful. But then what I'm going to do is bring in some solids. Look at these. Oh my gosh, this is going to be beautiful. I love it. And then even some more, because I need more florals. And oh, here, this is just fun because it's just fun. I love dots. But look at these. This is the Linen Wisteria fabric, and I absolutely love this. I made a quilt last year, and a couple years ago, I bought some of this up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I mentioned online I couldn't get any more. Well, a very dear friend, Phyllis, drove up to Lancaster. She lives a few hours away, and look at what she found. She found me more and sent this to me. I am so excited, Phyllis. I still get excited when I look at these fabrics. Thank you. So I'm going to use these, and I'm changing this layout. Oh my gosh, everything changed overnight. So dark goes in the middle. That's what that's going to be. But I want those to be on the sides because I'm putting my flowers in these corners. I'll double those up over here. And I want kind of full colored prints in here. So I don't want things with white background. I want the color background, but I don't want geometrics because these are going to be cut up. And then once I lay these out, look, because I have some of these, and I have some of these, and oh, just some nice leaves, which go good in the corner, and some flowers, oh, and some more flowers, and more flowers. Okay, so actually my flowers are going to go in here like this, and then odds and ends are going to go in the corner, as are these sort of leafy prints. Oh my gosh, I have so much here that I'm going to work on. Let me put these 9 patches together and show you where we're going. This is going to be much bigger than what I first thought it was. I am so excited. I jumped out of bed this morning just waiting to quilt. And one other thing real quick I need to show you. These are the 8-inch pieces. I can get more of my 5-inch, but look, I found some more 5-inch strips that I had cut. And now I can cross-cut these into into charm squares. If you did not see yesterday's fat quarter video, you've got to watch that. All this came from that, and now we're going to what's next. It's all a huge project that goes together, and I love it. I'm so excited. Okay, back soon. Fortunately, a 9 patch is easy because I have a lot of them to make. What I do is chain piece them. So I put my first pair, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and I sew all the way through. Then I cut this off. And then I get my third piece, and I sew these all the way through, chain piecing as I go. Now, rather than stop here, this is then where I pick up and go to my next 9 patch. So you can see this is connected. I'm going to cut that apart, and then I have the other one. So I will sew these 2 together and trim my seam, or trim my thread, and then I come down and I sew this, and then without stopping I just chain piece right into the next one, and I start on that side. Now, I find this works out really well for me. It gets me moving along. I don't like to do all the pairs and then come back because invariably I miss one somewhere along the way, and my middle square never ends up where it's supposed to be. So by doing it this way, it just works better. Now, if you have a way that works best for you, I'm not saying that this is the only way by any means, but definitely find what works so you get the 9 patch you want laid out the way that you want. And for me, that's flowers here, odds and ends on the other side, accent colors, etc. But then a darker fabric, accent fabric in the middle, because this is going to be flying geese, and this is going to be the beaks of the geese. So that needs to stand out. And so I'm going to cut this off. And then what I do is I just come back and sew these like that. So let me show you. I have a couple here that I did. And so here's my 9 patch. That's still chain stitched. What I did is I came through and I sewed this one, and then I press it outward, and then I'm going to sew this one and press that outward as well. And let's see, I don't have one pressed. I do over there. Yeah, let me get the other one. But so the same thing. So we press it this way. If you have directional fabrics, the only place it really matters is in these, because this is going to be a flying geese block, and you're going to get that cross cut here. So these are the points where the beak are when we cut this out. So I always have my directional fabric, so the up part of that block goes towards the middle. So see, we've got a hummingbird here. His head's going to go this way. The flower stems go this way. Now, a lot of them, it doesn't really matter, but if they do, and I just do that because it's a thing. If they're directional and I can place them the right way, I just feel like I have a better handle on what's going on. Now, once they're all cut, like I was showing you, we press this in one direction, but these two outer sides go in the opposite direction. That way we can nest these seams. And that's important for when we cut our block, because we want everything to line up. And I'm just lining this up here, line up well so we get our flying geese. Now you can see what I've done here is used my ruler and just with a pen, because this is the line that's going to be cut. And I did horizontal, vertical, and I also did corner to corner. We are only going to sew corner to corner. So we'll do the 1/4 inch on one side down and back, 1/4 inch back, and then what I do is I press this on the back side. If you press it on the front, sometimes, I guess this is the front. It doesn't really matter. They're both going to be the front when we're done here. But if you press this here, you may not get a smooth back. Once you do your sewing, which I'm going to show you here, you see how you can get these little pulls along the way? By pressing that. So see, this has been sewn. I just want you to see, there's our line. You can see the stitching on each side. And by pressing on the back, this will get nice and smooth. And then when I cut it, I'm going to have nice smooth seams to work with from there. And so let me show you how we cut this. I mean, once all the 9 patches are sewn together, this goes really very quickly. And I am going to, I found it easiest to sew to cut the vertical and horizontal first. And I'll show you why. So let's do this. I get right on the line. I'm going to get my bigger rotary cutter, because we've got some seams here. There we go. All right, right on the line that way. And see what happens when you cut. These things kind of move around, and so I would rather do the diagonals after the fact. Get this part done, because this isn't sewn. And so if these shift around, that's going to be problematic. Because this is sewn, it doesn't matter if it moves or not, because I can just Where's my line? I can just cut right on that line and not worry about it. So this is where we are. At this point, what you want to do, you've already set your seam from the back. We pressed the back after we did the sewing just to get any of those wrinkles out. But at this point, what I do also is I come in and I just set these seams just to make sure everything is nice and secure. We're not going to have anything, you know, doing whatever it does, any lumps and bumps and things of that nature. And so from here, you don't want to press your seam in one direction or the other. Just set your seam and you're done. Because what we're going to do is open these up, and let's see, I can get one here. I need to get the other side. The thing about this, let me show you. I'm going to do this before we take it all apart. All right, so this is not easy, putting it back together. Oh my gosh, okay, that's the middle. It's got to go this way. And this is a flower, so that's probably going to go this way. I have to say it out loud in order to do this. Okay, I got ahead of myself a little too far. And here and here. Okay, and this is all in the pattern tutorial. There's a page for every step that breaks it down. And what we have to do is take this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. These four are going to match up, and then these four are going to match up. And if you do the side-by-sides, you're not going to get the pattern that we want. Instead, what we want to do is put this one with the point up, and then the second one, we are going to put the point down. So you see what I mean? We have this up and this down. And so when we put our geese together, they are just going to look so wonderful. And I love that. Isn't that beautiful? This is such an awesome quilt. And the name of it, the name I gave it, I couldn't help myself, is In Flying Color. And that's what it looks like to me. This quilt is just in flying color, and everything is just, let's see, it goes this way, you know, flying across in these beautiful colors. And I love going with these backgrounds. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So out of one block, 1, 2, 3, 4, we get 4 flying geese, and then we'll join these together, and that's going to be one block, and it's going to be roughly 13 inches. So from here, then, what we do is we're going to stitch it this way and this way. So basically what we have are half square triangles. And the video I'm going to show you here, I'll link it up above because it has everything in incredible detail, and also the pattern. If you're interested, it is on sale down below. So what I do is I take one block and I cut it up and I make 2 blocks because I want the backgrounds to be the same. I don't want to have a, you know, one piece that's up right here with, I can't make it, there it is, with blue and green. I don't know. I may decide that, but right now I think this is what I want to do, because the other thing you can do is put 4 of these in a row. I think because the geese themselves are scrappy, having a background that's constant kind of tones it down, and it really draws out the geese and lets them stand out. Now, here are some that are finished, and it's just getting ready to put them together and sew them. So here's one block, and we have this one and this one. And I'm debating whether, and that's the thing, there's so much you can do. Do I want to put this and this because they're the same way, or do I want to put it this and this because they're opposite? It makes it kind of fun. There's a lot that you can do just playing around with the colors. Now, I wouldn't go this way because I don't want those two side by side, but that's going to be side by side, so I'm going to put that one up here. So you can play with them a little bit in the way you arrange them. And then I have another set right here that I have. So I have been working really hard getting all this together. Let's see, that's going to work there. Yeah, that works. So these are opposites, and that works there. These just end up being close. That's kind of the drawback. And so that's the decision to make. And this is where we are. This is what we're going to do. And I have enough squares right now to make the 9 patches I need for about 2/3 of my quilt. I do need more solid, so I can't finish it. I need more solid fabrics. I have plenty of the prints. I was able to pull that out of my stash because of all the fat quarters that I have used and those extra pieces. Then when I want to make a scrappy quilt, I have so much to draw from. And that's what I wanted to show you. That's what I wanted you to take away from this, is that you can use fat quarters for scrappy quilts. Just because you start with an 18 by 22 piece of fabric doesn't mean it's not a scrappy quilt. I love doing it this way because I get that much more fabric to work with. And again, video number 1, yesterday's video, explains and shows all that. And that's where we are. So I am really excited you came back today to watch, and I hope you have some really good ideas about some fabrics that you want to try and how you want to do yours. This is so completely different. The last one that I did at Christmas, look at this one. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful these flying geese are. Here's a bit more that you can see. It's just such a fantastic, fun, exciting quilt, and the scrappy nature of it is absolutely what attracts me more than anything else, because there's so many different fabrics and they're beautiful. And by using this background, we get some chevrons in here. There's just so much interest, as well as just the balance of how it all comes together. I hope you're excited about this. I hope you're going to give it a try. I can't wait to get mine finished, and I'll bring it back when it's time to have it quilted. I should be able to quilt this one, I think, on my machine. It depends on how big it gets, but when it's put together, I can't wait to show you. In the meantime, happy quilting. Keep warm. Be safe. And thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. 2 days in a row, that is a lot. But don't miss that first one. There's a lot of good information in there that's going to get you set up for this. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.